Bragsy! How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Very good, mate, very good. Right, are you familiar with how this works?
I'm not that familiar, but I'm sure I'll pick it up. I've always been intelligent.
Easy as pie, trading app.
Yeah.
There's 10 grand on it in virtual funds. We'll drive you around and you've got your ride, which will probably be about 20 minutes to try and make as much money as you can. Whatever
and I can make as many trades as I like.
You can make as many trades as you like, trade whatever you want in. We'll just have a chat about the markets and what's going on. And at the end of it, whatever you make is yours to keep. But if you lose money, don't worry, we'll just put a line through it. Hang on, let me just get this up. Where do you want to go, mate?
I want to go to...
What's your favourite city pub?
Let's go to the Bleeding Heart Tavern.
Bleeding Heart?
Do you know where that is?
I do, yeah.
That's a great pub. All right.
All right, Bleeding Heart Tavern. I think I went to an investor event there actually once. Oh, that chap's reversing, you can't do that. So what are you trading, Adam?
What, right now?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not doing very well because the one thing that I went to trade, the market's closed because in the Nasdaq, and we've got a couple of hours to go for that. Okay. And the other thing I think was a bit too small. So,
what was the first thing? What was the second thing?
First thing was MicroStrategy.
MicroStrategy, all right. That's one of the peripheral AI stocks, isn't it?
He's a chap with bundles and bundles of Bitcoin in his treasury.
Ah, right.
So he's sort of riding that wave. See what the pressure's on when you've got a camera on, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and 20 minutes as well. So you've got to make decisions quick. What do you generally trade?
Do you know, I'm not a big trader, I'm more of a buy and hold man.
Okay. Well, this is very different to buy and hold. Buy and hold is obviously the sensible approach. What are you looking at? Talk me through what you're trading. What are you looking for?
I'm on cable.
We had someone in the back of the cab earlier who was very rude about cable.
Oh yeah, what's he say?
He just said it was really difficult to trade. Like he's never met anyone who's made any money trading cable, which is odd because it's one of the most popular, and you would have thought followed forex pairs. How's the chart looking?
I'm not on the chart. I've just put that one on.
Okay.
Go and put something else on.
Talk me through your strategy, Adam. Are you just looking?
My strategy is I'm recklessly putting bets on in the hope that I can make some money in the next 20 minutes.
Do you know what? So far today, we've not had anyone make money. Maybe because they've been trying too hard.
I think that's it.
So
maybe I should calm down.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just get the adrenaline heart rate down and think about what's going on today.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going to say maybe if you just put a load of random bets on, one of them will come good, and you'll beat the people that were actually trying.
Yeah. Right. So. I'm not going to trade that again, we're going back and find something else. What have people generally been trading then?
The FTSE's popular, gold is always popular, and I think foreign exchange is always popular because it's quite volatile, it moves a lot, but I find foreign exchange quite difficult. Indices I find slightly easier, and stocks I find even easier than that, or rather less difficult. But I think the thing with stocks is there's a lot more news flow, and they're very reactive, but they don't really move as much as indices and FX. With indices and FX, you can sort of job in and out, but to day trade equities, you really need slightly bigger pockets to make it worthwhile. You were going to tell me about a good trade. What's been your best trade?
That was just recently. Do you know, most of my portfolio when I look at it is just underwater.
Yeah.
But the day that those ETFs were approved over in the States, whatever day that was, must be a month ago now, I boshed a load of cash in MicroStrategy.
Right.
At 588.
And where is it now?
I don't know, 1100, 1200.
Gold, right. Yeah. Do you know what? It was odd, those Bitcoin ETFs, because they came to market and there was a load of fanfare before, there was loads on social, everyone was talking it up, and then Bitcoin basically didn't really do anything for a couple of days. And it was all a bit of a damp squid, but since then it's just gone absolutely through the roof.
That damp squid, right, I've got my 2 positions on, I don't need to, I think I'm kind of out. That damp squid was money rotating out of the Grayscale Bitcoin Investment Trust. which had super high fees compared to the ETFs.
Ah, right. So what? Oh, what? So there's a load of redemptions, therefore a load of selling, and therefore the price
Just like this
wasn't.
thing that's happened just recently, possibly. No one ever knows, do they?
No.
But possibly the reason it got to 69 and then it went straight back down to 62. There's a load of people that have been holding it since that last high, just getting out and going,
Thank God for that.
I can't handle it. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not going through that again. There's been 3 peaks.
You do have to have a bit of a strong stomach for it.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like having all your money in one position. It's it's a crazy market. Whatever we talk about with everyone in the taxi, we always end up talking about Bitcoin at some point. I guess that's why the price is so high, because everybody just can't stop talking about it. Everything else has almost become boring.
Everything else is boring, isn't it, really?
That's true. That's true.
So I've got my 2 positions on.
So what are the 2 positions? Talk us through them.
I've bought cable and I bought the UK 100.
Okay. So generally we like cable. Generally we like the FTSE 100.
So we'll see what happens.
So you're backing Britain as we go over Tower Bridge into the Tower of London.
Yeah. What a great place.
Yeah. What a great view of the city.
I do like this town.
Yeah. You know what? It's actually been lovely driving around it for a day or so. You sort of drive past all the old pubs you used to go to, all the places you used to work.
Yeah.
And it's not somewhere you really actually get the chance to drive around. Like you're either walking or rushing from one place to another and not really paying attention, but driving, you just sort of...
My eldest daughter was 17 in the middle of the vaccine shenanigans, and I got her in a car on her 17th birthday, and about a week later we had to drive to Cambridge. So I got to drive through the centre of London,
deserted,
and over here within a week of getting her licence.
That's incredible.
It's fantastic.
So are you fully leveraged up then? Have you got any margin free, or are you happy with your positions?
I'm happy.
How are you getting on? What sort of profit are you sitting on, or loss?
One is under by 100 quid, one is over by 40 quid. Thereabouts.
So you're long both sterling
and
the stock market.
Yeah.
I think you should hedge one against the other. A little bit of protection.
Do you know, I'm not that sophisticated. I'm not that sophisticated. I wish I was.
Yeah. I think sometimes the more sophisticated you try and be, the more error you open yourself up to. I think it's important to deal in what you're comfortable with.
Know your limits.
Yeah. Oh, and trade the markets you understand as well. What's your favourite stock, other than Grayscale?
MicroStrategy.
MicroStrategy. What about British? Let's find some British brands to have a punt on.
British stocks that I've made money out of. Well, Pensana Rare Earth isn't strictly speaking British, but it's on LSE now, isn't it?
Okay. Well, that's the thing about the LSE, isn't it? Most of the stocks on there aren't British.
That was fantastic. I bought some of that just before, as it came onto the. Was it just before? It was before. It was before its UK listing. So here's the coup. I rang up. They were on ASX.
Yeah.
And I rang up Charles Stanley, who do my ISA. They were 75 quid to do the trade.
Oh. What? Over the phone, presumably, with FX.
Anyway, it's not the market we cover. I think it's like a plumber telling you it's going to cost 10 grand to change a toilet seat. If they don't want the work, they'll give you a stupid price.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I ended up doing it with IG, who, I don't know if you ever use their platform.
I love IG. What, physical, or is there CFD? Or?
The walk from my house to the train station is 10 minutes. In that 10 minutes, I downloaded the app, funded, put the money in, got the trade on. It's crazy.
Yeah. But that's where these companies are winning the business.
I did 5 times out of it and thought I was a genius.
Yeah.
And then it went on to, I think it did it 8 or 9 times in the end.
Yeah. Do you know what? Taking 5 times out of something is fine.
I was gutted for a while, and I was like, I'll stop being stupid.
Yeah.
Everything else you bought is completely underwater.
Bank your profits as well. Like, the worst thing that can happen is you see good multiples, and like, how often do you get 5 times your money? in not a main market or a long-term investment. Not very often.
I'm quite good at reducing it to 20% of my money.
How are your trades doing?
That's a lot.
So we're 10 minutes in. We're at the halfway point.
Well, I don't want to take a loss. Do you want to okay. I'll take this. I'll take this profit then here, and then I'll see if I can cover that loss that I've made elsewhere.
So you're going against the running.
Well,
rings.
you've just goaded me into it, haven't you?
I'm not encouraging trading at all. I'm simply saying there may be opportunity in the markets elsewhere.
Yeah, I just don't know where they are, mate.
What's been your worst trade then? I mean, I've had many worst trades. I can tell you my worst trade. My worst trade was a company called, I think it was called Petrel Resources or something like that. It was a silly little oil or mining company, and I'd been waiting for it to peak for a while. I've been waiting for a bit of news flow. News flow came out, share price went up, and I thought, oh great, this is the news we've been waiting for. So bought into it, and then of course it immediately fell. I think I must have bought at the peak, and then it went down from there. So I learnt my lesson the hard way there, but never chase a win.
My worst trade was Paragon. Hang on. Paragon, the mortgage company.
I was going to say the builders or the lenders? The lenders. Yeah.
I used to work at a company that published What Mortgage magazine.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of advertising in What Mortgage magazine at the time for subprime lending.
Okay. Yeah.
And I promise you, nobody outside of the mortgage industry had ever heard that term. No one had ever heard that term.
Well, until a few months later.
Until I put a load of money into a subprime lender called Paragon, and then almost instantly the world collapsed.
Yeah, well, subprime, I mean, they banked good money when...
They were making huge money.
Yeah.
And I was like, my thinking was, oh look, subprime lenders, there's a lot going on in subprime lending, I'll do some. So anyway...
Sounds cool as well, doesn't it? Subprime.
Oh, it sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember how much I put in, but 4 or 5 grand very quickly became £18.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Well, at least you hadn't leveraged up and bought a house with a subprime mortgage.
No,
I think, you know, at least you weren't underwater.
So that was probably my worst one. But we've all, I mean...
I'll tell you what I can remember the most. I can remember my bad trades and the trades that never happened. Well, you know, like
should have done,
like the what ifs, or I didn't like. There's been a couple of occasions, like with US stocks, when I thought, do you know what, that's looking good. I'll put it on when I get home, and then you get home, other things happen. You know, life moves on, and you forget.
You trade
to
a lot then?
Oh, I dabble every now and again, but I review a lot of platforms, and part of the fun thing about reviewing platforms is trading them live. You know, whenever we do reviews, we always trade live. We never do the review based on a demo account, because you've got to work out the spreads and the executions and actually use these things. So I don't sort of, it sounds quite daft, but I don't trade to make money. I trade because I enjoy it, which I suppose is probably quite a good strategy, because, you know, trading should be your fun money. But I don't really trade intraday. I think you know, I much prefer looking at an equity and thinking that's overvalued or that's undervalued, and taking a position. And I like hedged positions as well, where you don't have to worry about big market move.
It's all gone to pot, hasn't it?
How far down are we?
We are total. I'm only 80 quid down in total.
But you banked some profit.
I got some profit, but the 2 subsequent trades have quickly gone into loss. But then I don't, you know, it's a bit of a strange situation, isn't it? It's like the back of a cab with a 20-minute deadline.
Yeah.
You wouldn't normally have a 20-minute deadline.
No, but then
you wouldn't normally be desperate to put trades on.
Think of it like a race, though. Think of it like you're quite good at running, but in a running race, you're under pressure and you've got to beat some other people. Whereas if you trade, you can trade and tap away, but if you're all of a sudden given a finite amount of time to do it, can you seek out opportunity within that time frame? That's really the challenge here. It's not.
Yeah, maybe the troubling. How much time have we got left?
Well, officially you've got 7.5 minutes, but
All right.
it's 10 minutes to Bleeding Heart Tavern. So we'll extend it, I think, a little bit. We'll give it a bit of extra grace,
Well,
I think.
you're a good man.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
think it's going to help me much.
No, it'd be nice to bank a bit of profit for someone. What I should really be doing is what some of the brokers do and just run a B-book. Maybe this should be like, I should take the other side of everybody's trades.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's something to be said there.
Yeah. Well, of course, that's what a lot of brokers do for this very reason. But the key, I think, and one of the reasons there's some nice brokerages out there as well as the scallywags is that I think brokers like to form long-term relationships with customers. I certainly remember when I was a broker, we'd want customers with us for 5, 10, 20 years because it costs an absolute fortune to get new customers in.
I would imagine it's quite nice to have clients that you look after and you both make money as opposed to having clients.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you know what I mean?
It doesn't have to be a zero-sum game trading. It can be win-win for everyone. Like a stock can go up because the value of it goes up, not because somebody else has lost money. And brokers can earn money from customers through charging commission and fees. They don't have to take the other side of the trade. And customers, if they've got a decent strategy and are patient and don't make silly mistakes, then everyone can win. Important thing to note is this isn't investment advice. We don't know anyone's personal situations. This is guidance. We're just having a chat. Trading is a high-risk, difficult environment to make money from. Spotted anything else that looks good?
Short on the DAX and short on I think that's the S&P 500, and they're both just tipped over into profit slightly.
Oh, nice one.
So I think I'm going to wait it out and see if...
How's the chart? Are you looking at the 15-minute charts or the 1-minute charts?
I'm not looking at the charts, I'm just looking at the portfolio.
You're just looking...
I've got my three positions.
You've got your 3 positions. You're just feeling the market rather than
I don't know what I'm doing,
really. An honest trader.
I think that's the thing, that you can never really fully know why something is going to happen.
That's true.
Or what might send it in the opposite direction unexpectedly.
That's true.
It's all sort of balance of probability, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. I think trading is educated guessing at best, and sometimes you call it right, and sometimes you call it wrong.
Yeah. You've got to have you've got to have a stomach for it, though.
Yeah, that's it. Depending on what sort of trading you do, some people like day trading because you're out of it at the end of the day and you're flat overnight and you can sleep. Some people like trading markets in the middle of the night. I never really liked that because
why do people do that?
Yeah,
I can't sleep.
Every now and again, I used to trade the Hang Seng, but the spreads were always wide and you don't know what's going on. There's not so much news flow over here with those stocks, whereas the FTSE's nice. And UK listed companies are great to trade because you've just got the news flow in your face all the time.
Yeah.
I feel as though I've been sat in traffic for most of this ride. I think you're getting a good extension on your.
Well, that's fine. You keep going where you want to go.
On your time. If you get into profit, you can call it a day early. You can.
How would I know anything about trading the Aussie dollar against the Swiss franc? That'd be like shooting in the dark, wouldn't it?
Well, you just have to. Which country do you think is going to do better? The prevailing interest rate spread between the two. How do you think that's going to work out? And I think that's a good point actually about foreign exchange. It is an incredibly complex market that really very few people have a complete grasp over, but it seems to be one of the most popular markets for everybody to trade. I mean, there's no denying that it's one of the most heavily traded markets, but there's a lot of institutional and corporate money that's constantly being churned and hedged and sent abroad, and businesses do have to hedge their currency exposure. But the foreign exchange market, I don't understand why it's so popular with retail traders. It just feels like mist. Here we go. You've got 8 minutes left.
That's okay.
according to my Google Maps. Yes, it's oh no, go, go, go! Oh, I don't think we can push our way through there. All right.
So where did you get this from? I remember you talking about getting a taxi and driving it across the globe to Sydney. You were talking about.
I would love to do that. We are planning a round the world trading trip at some point. Whether or not we do part of it in a taxi is one thing or another. But it was actually quite an interesting story about how I got this. I was looking on Auto Trader one morning for taxis because I wanted one for promotions. And this one in particular, I'd seen and checked the license plate to make sure it was MOT'd and insured and like it was legit. But it was way away. It was about 50 minutes away. And then I, amazingly enough, was driving past the gym on the way home, and this cab pulled out in front of me as I was going past the station. So I chased it down the road in my car.
What, you'd seen it online?
Yeah, and I just
get out of town.
Yeah, no, but because I had looked up the registration number and put it in to check the MOT.
No way.
I then chased it down the road, like flashing the guy, hailing him down, and I managed to, West End Gardens.
Yeah.
Just at the bottom of Lammas Lane. Pulled over there, and had a chat with him, and he was on the way to sell it to somebody else in Farnham. And I said, oh, well, look, how much do you want for it? And he gave me like 60% off, did the deal on the side of the road, took it for a test drive, and then, text the missus.
And how is it?
Sorry?
How is it?
It's brilliant. It's unbelievable. It's great. Great visibility, get 7 seats in, the kids love it.
Yeah.
So the guy I bought it from was Hungarian, and he bought it because he wanted to show it off in his Hungarian teapot museum. He has a museum in Hungary that displays English teapots.
The world's a crazy place.
I know, it is absolutely crazy. But then you have sort of wonderful people like him that celebrate weird things like English teapots. And so he drove it out to Hungary, and anyway, it turned out he couldn't insure it or tax it or
so drove it back?
Or something like that, and then drove it back, and then, the thing is, the insurance is massive on these things. So he was trying to get rid of it before the insurance was due. So yeah, I got a really good deal, and the rest, as they say, is Good Money Guide Taxi Trading League. How are we getting on? How much? Have you made enough for lunch yet?
No, I'm still underwater. I've completely cancelled out my 2 winning trades, but we're not at the Bleeding Heart Tavern yet. So
no, you got 6 minutes to go. It's a tough one.
So let's. I think that's gold that I've bought there.
What, a golden position or gold?
Yeah, it's having a moment, isn't it? Don't know why is it having a moment, gold.
What time is it? 12:40. Yeah.
No, I mean not right now. I mean generally, it's had a good week, hasn't it?
I haven't really been following it actually. Like gold is one of those things that does really well when the world's going to.
Right.
So maybe that's it.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, maybe it's got something to do with Trump doing relatively well. So everybody's thinking, oh my God, we're definitely going to go to war. Let's buy some gold.
Although it's not him, he's not the warmonger, is he? Out of the pair of them.
No, but I can't imagine him being a docile.
Oh, here we go. Gold's going into profit now.
Go on, Adam.
Come on. Well, like the other 2 things were way under, but.
Here we go, 5 minutes, mate. And the thing is, like, you'll remember you made a little bit of profit on something.
Well, I guess there's that, isn't there?
Yeah. You can just bank 2.
I think the education on this, if it's something you want to get into, it's pretty key, isn't it?
Right.
Because even though I kind of understand what's going on here, I am reasonably clueless. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think most people do get into it who haven't got a clue. I think what people do is they get into it thinking it's easy and then realise it's difficult and then go down the more traditional. So sometimes it can be a gateway into getting people interested in finance and investing in general, which is great. But some people just don't have the knack for it, and then it's not for them. But if you do have the knack for it, great. I always thought black cabs were on the way out, but actually driving one around, you realise how many there are dotted about London. I'm not quite sure what the rest of London is like, but certainly around London, there are a huge amount of them. And I noticed there's a lot of new ones as well. There's a lot of the new shape.
The electric ones.
Yeah, the electric ones.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much they are. They are pretty expensive cabs.
Stupid money.
Yeah.
Stupid money. God knows what's going to happen to them when their batteries do the iPhone thing in 4 years.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, this thing, for example, has done 175,000 miles.
Yeah, and it's got another 400 in it.
Yeah, and I've had it for, I think I bought it in February, so I've had it for a month and a bit, month and a half. It has never not started, even during the cut. Am I going to hit a cyclist here? It is a diesel thing.
Who's it by?
Do you know, I have no idea. But so this is the TX4. I think the TX1 and 2 from LTI were London Taxis
Geely,
International.
Chinese.
Yeah, and then Geely, I think it was Geely bought it.
Yeah,
So
Chinese.
obviously, it's Japanese, so it'll work. But I was saying this earlier this morning. Like, British engineering and British brands tend to make really beautiful things that don't quite work as well as they should.
Yeah.
But then as soon as an actual manufacturing company that's competent at doing it gets under the hood, they last forever. I mean, this will last forever. An electric car, I can't see, what's going to happen when the batteries run out.
Yeah.
But then maybe the price of replacing a battery will come down when they actually need to be replaced.
Toyota have a theory, I think it's 1690 theory. Have you heard that?
No.
The mineral input to make a purely electric car, if that's 1, with the same mineral input you can make 6 hybrids and 90 internal combustion engine cars.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty scary, isn't it?
Which ultimately makes internal combustion engine cars much greener than battery cars.
Yeah. And also, I've always thought it's got to be much more economical to run a car like this for another 20 years
Then build it all from scratch again.
than build a brand new car.
Absolutely.
You're
And ship it
absolutely
across
right.
the planet.
Yeah, you're absolutely
Precisely.
I mean, it's no denying that it is a step in the right. It's a step in the right direction. Of course, it is. The world's got to change and adapt. But I think there's still a lot of work to be done. That's why all the EV companies have performed so badly recently.
Yeah. All right.
All right, here we go, mate. You've got a minute to go.
Okay. Well, I'm in profit on this one. Do I have to close everything out? Yeah.
We'll close it out when we get to the pub.
I spent the whole journey pretty much underwater because of my first trade.
Oh, that's always the way, isn't it? Where's this chap going?
All my other trades I've made little bits of cash on, but not much. So my first trade was the one that killed me, and here we are at the Bleeding Heart. What a fantastic! You've been here, yeah?
Yeah. Do you know, I came for dinner here once actually.
Great
Yeah.
food.
It's just a really, it's almost an iconic venue. Wait a minute. All right, there we go, Adam. Time's up. Ding, ding.
All right, I'll close them out.
There's the bell.
Close.
So what's the final tally?
I'll tell you. Close.
I do hope we get a winner at some point.
I am down by 64 quid.
64 quid. 64 quid off of 10 grand, and then presumably you're trading off.
So that's basically my spreads. Then,
yeah.
I guess.
Let's blame the spreads. Let's blame the spreads. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's not your trading. It's definitely the spreads. So there you go. Some old school punting. Not even trying. Just having a punt. See what happens. Even that doesn't work. Still no wins. We're going to get some profits soon. So if you think you can do any better, search Good Money Guide Taxi. Hail the cab. We'll give you a ride around the city.